we don't need any explanation for what's going on right now. I found this guy, Naythanyel. He's kind of interesting. I watched a part of his video and then realized, wait, we could sit down and watch this with other people. Because right now he's only got 163 views in this video. I think this is his most viewed video. But I think his videos are good. And we're going to do a little bit of a review. And then later, I think we're going to apply some of our own expertise to the questions he asks. Let's get started.
What up, queers? Today we're going to be talking about Femboys and why I think that they're awesome. So I want to start this by saying all my homies maybe not watch this one. Yeah, let's get started. So I always think that I've always thought that skirts are fucking awesome, you know. I don't care who's wearing them. I think that a kilt is pretty badass. You know, if you're carrying a knife, you know, and then like your hammer, you know, like that's pretty tight, you know. But like when it's like the black skirt with like the two white lines going across, that's the shit right there, you know. And like especially if it's a man.
Hold up. First of all, I have no idea what he's talking about with the white lines. And that last comment caught me off guard. I can't agree right now. He's got to convince me. We've got to do a little bit more convincing.
I'm as straight as they come, you know, but at the same time, you know, I can understand the appeal of a boy. Full stop, you know. I think that's like, it could be the move, you know, because like, you know, with women, you know, you have to like take care of their emotions, and you know, like, you know, you have to like talk them through things, you know, like they have a lot of things going on inside their head, you know. But like a man is just like baseball game, you know. It's like you don't really have to think about it, you know. So like if you're chatting it up with a sexy little femboy, you know, you know, like when you're chatting it up with like a sexy little thing, you know, you can just you know, you just let loose, you know, because not only are they hot as fuck, you know, but it's also your homie.
Right.
Like, you know,
we're gonna stop here, but I get what he's trying to say, but I feel like a lot of the intrigue in women and stuff can come from like their emotions and shit. Like you can talk them through stuff which can be more interesting than just straight baseball. Not saying it's wrong, I think just personal preference. I don't mind a little bit of dilly-dallying in that sort of respect. This is a really bad still for him, but we'll continue now.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's like not crazy to think that. And at the same time, you know, you have all of these dudes telling you that like you're gay, you know. But like, so what? Like, I don't care. Like, come on, like,
Valid,
you know, like I've never thought that I'd be in this predicament where I think that what the fuck am I saying, bro? I apologize. I was getting a little off topic. But you know, like, not only is it your homeboy, not only are you able to just sit there and talk about guy shit, have a beer, sit down and chill, you know, but they have a penis, you know. It's like
What? I can't agree with that at all.
You know, I don't think that men get enough credit in today's society.
Okay, I can agree.
And you know, as long as you're not hurting nobody, you know, I don't think that other people have a right to judge who you are.
Okay.
And if I'm dancing around my room in high socks and fucking crop top, you know, like,
you lose.
That's what I'm gonna do. You can't judge me for that, you know. And
I can and I will.
all due respect, you know, if you have a problem with it, then I don't think I want to be your friend. You know, we're not friends anymore on the playground, you know, so, yeah, that's really all I had to say.
But am I still invited to your birthday?
It's a really, really short, actually, it's a really short video, but, you know, that's really all I had to say. If you have a problem with it, you know, you can take it up with HR. You know, that's cool if you want to do that, but, yeah. I don't like you very much. Bye-bye.
Oh, that's actually quite unfortunate. I feel like he's definitely disappointed. I'm a little disappointed in him now, because he couldn't truly convince me. Like, I can respect someone having their own opinion or having their own thing that they like to do, but I don't see it as awesome. I feel like he didn't convince me of how awesome Femboys actually are. There were a lot of moments where it was just like, you know, they're this cock, and it's like, oh shit. Like, I almost forgot what we were talking about. I get a little flashbang. And there's a lot of moments where he's talking about how the cock is a good thing. And it's like, I don't really see that. I can't really agree with that. And like, I get maybe part of it. So this is the only video. This is the next video in this series.
Alright, fuckers, what up? This is Femboys Part 2. So, most people that came to my channel saw my Femboys Part 1 video. And you know, this video is about the problems of Femboys. I can't get my mic where I want it. So the problem with Femboys. Now, in the first video, I was talking about how Femboys are dope, you know, like, it's your homie with a cock, you know, like, that's pretty fire, you know, a lot of the time it's like, it's less drama, but in this video I'm going to talk about the fact that, like, a lot of the time there's more drama with it, you know, like, you don't actually, like, you know, like, you and your homie can disagree on some shit, you know, on average, men are more disagreeable than women, you know, and it's been proven by statistics over time, you know, so if you and your homie are more disagreeable on average, and you're also talking about, like, homies fight, you know, like, homies, like, actually get into it, you know, like, with a man and a woman, you know, like, unless it's, like, really toxic, you know, they don't really fight like that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And, you know, like, a homie, fucking a homie, he's not gonna, like, I don't know, like, he's not gonna be gentle on your shit when you're in an argument, you know what I'm saying? With a woman, you can have decent makeup sex, but with the dude, you know, like, dudes are kind of petty like that, you know? I know women are very petty, but, like, men are also very petty in the sense that they will just bite your fucking dick, you know what I'm saying? They'll just bite your fucking balls right off, you know, just your left nut just gone, you know what I'm saying? You know, I think that's a beautiful thing, though. I think there's a beautiful thing, where you're that vulnerable with your homie that you can actually trust him with your dick in his mouth, you know,
crazy statement.
You know, I've never fucked a femboy, you know, but if I ever wanted to, I would choose a very feminine femboy, you know, and that's like, you don't want a masculine femboy, you know, because obviously, you know, like, not only do you want like a feminine frame, you know, but you want a feminine state of mind, because I've met very big dudes, you know, just massive, you know, like 6'8".
I could agree with
huge guys that are just like babies, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm sure a lot of women have too. So when you have a very soft kind of femboy, you know, it really will do wonders for your state of mind, and that's because you're not going to fight over meaningless shit. You know, I mean, maybe because like they're feminine, but at the same time, you also have like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to put this in perspective. You know, I'm half laying down right now, and you know my brain isn't properly functioned because I'm drinking.
I feel like right now he's attributing a lot of the values that you would see greatly in women towards femboys, but not also giving them the negatives, and also attributing all the positives from a guy to that. Because there are gonna be some variations. Like, there'll be a femboy that's very argumentative and petty and very badly feminine, but then also like really shitty masculine wise. Like, there are bad people out there that just won't fit to those standards. I feel like there's gonna be an arc here. We'll see. He'll discover something else. This is my prediction. He's gonna discover something else, and he's gonna throw femboys away, and it's gonna be something greater.
Please don't let my employer see this ever. But you know, like, I think femboys are dope. I think women are cool too, but like there's something about it, you know. But thank you for listening to this, you know. I feel like I've made some very good points.
You're welcome.
If you ever want to talk with a woman again, try a femboy. I have yet to, regretfully, you know what I'm saying? I really hope my family doesn't do this. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Actually, no, I don't care. Watch this. Bye-bye.
Again, this is not the end of the series. There's I think one more video. But throughout the series, there's this theme that he has, this arc that I can see where he doesn't fully recognize what he wants. Like, he has these attributes that he's wanting, but they're not completely connected to what he's talking about. I feel like we might discover this in a new video. Let's run it.
Alright, motherfuckers, we're back. Today we have a beautiful comparison video. We are comparing femboys versus women. Now, there's a lot that you can say about either one of these categories. One makes you kind of look a little weird from the outside. You know, one makes you look great from the outside. If you have a beautiful femboy by your side, it's going to be a little different from when you have a beautiful woman by your side.
Yeah,
and when you have a beautiful woman by your side, you will look a little different than when you have a beautiful femboy by your side. So let's just get right into it. So this is femboys versus women. And we have pros of both and cons of both. We have 3 each, and we're going to go into what these mean. So the first category is pros of femboys. Number 1 is cannot have children. Now, this could be a con, depending on who you are, and if you want children.
I definitely agree. It
But
could be maybe a con.
If both of you are clean, you can theoretically tap with no rubber. Free game. It's completely free game. You don't have to worry about anything. All you need to worry about is lube. That's it.
There are a couple of things. Don't take that. Take that with a grain of salt. Do your research.
You can do your thing all the way up until the very end, and you can go right through the goal line, you know what I'm saying? All the way through, not having to worry about a single thing. With women, that it's not the case. You know, with women, you have to wrap it up and pull out in order for safe intercourse. Now, Granted, you're not having sex with the same hole. But they get the same enjoyment out of it, either way. So, the next one is has penis. Obviously W.
No.
That's a huge win.
No.
Women have a vagina.
Yeah.
At the same day, if you want to lick a hole, you're just licking a hole. And if you want to stick your penis in a hole, then you're just sticking your penis in a hole. It's really not that much different. Maybe vagina might be a little
too
bit tighter.
simplified for my taste.
I don't know. But, you know what I'm saying? It's a cock. Obviously a W. I don't need to say any more about this.
I don't think that's obvious. You
Pros
gotta
and
explain
femboys.
that.
Number 3 is submissive and breedable. A lot of women can be standoffish. A lot of women have very strong opinions about things. Some creeds, some colors, maybe a little bit more than others.
Ooh.
But at the end of the day,
It's a little
women
bit of race,
have very strong
a little
feelings
bit of fun stereotypes.
and femboys are just more likely to go with the flow. They're more
No evidence to back
they're
up
more
that
soft.
point.
Maybe they're more soft in some ways.
I could agree with that. I could agree.
You know, obviously there's a huge case for femboys right now.
No.
I just built a massive case for femboys.
There's some
in the
decent
pros
parts, but
department.
you've left out a couple key
But now,
details.
We're going to move on to the pros of women next. Pros of women, I have another 3 here. Can baby you. There's nothing more incredible than being babied by a woman. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
The homies without moms either might know this or might not know this, but there's something so incredible about a woman just patting the top of your head. You know, just that
Exactly.
simple thing is incredible. When you're driving, having her hand on the back of your neck, and just it's pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't know if that alone beats any of the pros of femboys, but it's pretty swag. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a pretty strong case in and of itself.
Exactly.
And here we'll keep going. So number 2 is socially acceptable. Now you can bring a woman home. You can marry
That
a
is a
woman,
massive boost. That
and
is
nobody will bat an eye at you.
leagues ahead right now.
Granted, if you're a woman, it's a little bit different. But if you're a man, you can bring a woman home. You can bring them to your gardenscape. You know what I'm saying? You can bring them home and marry them. You can walk in. Both of you guys have a beautiful ring on your finger, and
Yep.
nobody will bat an eye
Yeah.
at all. Now, if you don't really care much for social norms, then that's cool by you. Most people do. And this is why this is a huge W for women. Next case. Can bear children. Boom. So it's the opposite of femboys.
Exactly.
Cannot have children. Pros of women, they can. So they're both pros in their own right, but depending on who you are.
Exactly. That's what we were talking about before.
If you want a wife,
It's your own values.
you can still have fun.
He
with a
has these
woman
values and he doesn't really
and
know.
still have children.
that
And
they're
as
not
much
fully
fun as you can with
linked.
the femboy, with no worries, but with a woman, you can still have a lot of fun. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And then you can get babied after, and it's all socially acceptable. So, you know, this is really, really huge for women.
Yeah.
I think I
Outstandingly.
built a beautiful case for the both of them. Let's keep going.
Somewhat.
The cons, femboys. So not only did we build a beautiful case for both femboys and for women, now we're going to tear these cases down bit by bit.
I like that way of thinking. That's pretty
Sorry to
interesting.
pause, I think I had to sneeze. Cons of femboys is obviously no vagina. Vagina's swag, vagina's pretty dope, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Obviously a W.
It
Actually,
has never hurt me any.
vagina
There's
is
anything
obviously a
wrong with
W.
That's a beautiful thing. Tastes good. Feels good. You know, it's soft. Self-lubricant.
Often, yeah.
human body is a beautiful thing, and the female form is a very beautiful thing.
Yep, I can agree.
There's something about a femboy that tries to emulate that, and they just can't.
Yeah.
They might get close, but they just can't.
Yeah, that's my main nitpick.
No little spoon. No little spoon. You cannot little spoon a femboy. A femboy is feminine on purpose. They have a goal, they have a mission. And that mission and that goal is to be feminine. You can't out-feminine a femboy. They might be big and they might be huge. Chances are they're not. So, if you have a small, submissive, and breedable femboy, you're not gonna little spoon that femboy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna be a little spoon to that femboy.
I think there's definitely a case for it, but it's rare.
You assume the big spoon, and you assume the knife. You know what I'm saying? The dagger that really gets in there and handles the business.
Oh, she's grabbing it.
So that's a pro and a con. You know what I'm saying? If that's you, then that's you. That's awesome. Third con is no tits.
Bro.
I cannot underestimate how
that's a massive L.
This is, dude. L.
I cannot understate how much
bro.
of an L that is.
No titties? You got a femboy, but you got no tits?
Yeah, that's just... Nah.
Tits are dope. I like laying down and just having my hand on a tit, you know what I'm saying? Like that's heat. You can have butt. You can have thighs. You can have a beautiful face, and you can have gorgeous hair.
But no titties.
No. That is a huge L case. That is a huge bear
massive
case
L
for femboys. That's tough. That's really, really tough. And I hate to say that, but honestly, after listening to the cons of femboys, I think they're kind of down a little bit, I'm really
they're down a lot recently.
I thought I was.
Based on his...
No vagina, no little spoon, and no tits. Like, damn.
That's massive L.
That is tough, because you can get most of those with women. Maybe women don't really have any tits. Maybe some of them don't like to be a little spoon. But they all have a vagina. So you're at least getting one of them.
Yeah.
No. I think I've said enough. We've gone through the pros of femboys, the pros of women, and the cons of femboys, and we have made a very strong case for both in the beginning. And now we are down in the femboy stock. You know what I'm saying? Femboy stocks are plummeting right now as we speak.
Yeah.
As I speak about this. Let's move on to the cons of women. Because not only is there one, not only is there two, but there's three cons of women as well.
It's only fair.
There's more. I'm sure there's more than that. They cost more money.
That is a point
a huge L for women. You need to work all the time to support a woman. She needs money.
She needs money.
She does. And if she doesn't, that's pretty swag, but most of them don't. Most of them just don't want to pay for dinner.
No, there's a good point to be made that femboys will also cost a decent amount of money. Because everyone wants to be rich. Everyone wants to have a little bit of money, And I don't think that's mutually exclusive to just women, Continue.
Falls upon you. If you want to work traditional roles and you want to stay at home, and you want her to stay at home, if she wants to stay at home, then you're going to have to pay for that. They cost more money. You know what I'm saying?
It's a sacrifice that must be made.
Driving, gas, all those things cost money. Number two, they always want something from you, whether it's your attention, whether it's something small and meaningless, what you feel like. They don't feel like it's meaningless. They don't want you to do the dishes. They're not just asking you to do the dishes. They're asking you for attention. Now, women require a lot of attention. I don't know if that's true for femboys. But I would assume they wouldn't.
that part right there, I feel like he's kind of misidentifying what that's about, because it's not a one-way street. She's demanding attention, it's more of an exchange of attention. She gives you a bit of attention, you give a little bit of attention back, and that's this nice kind of exchange, you know? You're not losing anything, you're not losing any currency or any whatever. You're just merely sharing. It's not a negative, I would say. I would say it's like most of the point, most of the argument, most of the reason you're there, you know. Aside from the straight to the other points, you know.
You know, from my experience with women, and my experience with femboys, which is not vast, I would assume that women want way more from you. They have periods. Huge L on its own.
I can agree with that one.
There's 1 week a month that you can't even fuck them, and they're still needing something from you.
Not the main
point.
point.
That's a huge L in and of itself. I totally forgot to even put that. Number 3, have to listen for 30 minutes for something that should take 30 seconds to explain. Now, all the homies in the chat know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about right now. Women take forever to explain the most meaningless bullshit that happened with their boss at work, and you have to sit there and listen and nod your head while pretending like you're listening. Now, if you're like me, you actually do listen, and you're a decent boyfriend. But if you don't want to listen, you're SOL. You know, you have to, and you have to at least pretend like you're listening. So that kind of sucks.
Not much of a loss there, though.
We have the pros of femboys: cannot have children, has penis, is submissive and breedable.
Not breedable.
But they also have no vagina, no little spoon, and no tits. So, ouch. That's tough. Pros of women: can baby you, is socially acceptable, so you can bring him home, and can bear children.
Massively better than any of the bros from the Femboys.
They also cost more money. They always want something from you. Have to listen for 30 minutes straight for something that should take 30 seconds to explain. Also, let's just hit it with the quick number 4.
Sure. Are we still recording? My power just went out. My fucking battery died. Let's continue. Number 4. Now, I feel like this is an unfair thing to bring up, but...
You can't fuck them.
That is very subjective. Because there are a select group who are quite the opposite. And now maybe you don't really want to play around with that, but that's definitely not an outright rule.
For a quarter of the month.
Oh, wait, I should have let him continue.
So that's a huge L. So...
Actually, I would argue that only one of the functions, or the actual main glorious function, isn't usable for a quarter of the month or whatever, right? But everything you can do with the Femboys, you can do during that quarter. So it just completely outright negated.
Even if women had a very strong case in the beginning, they had a very weak case in the bottom. And even if femboys had an extremely strong case in the start, their stocks plummeted really fucking far. But they still take the cake. Femboys always return into the supreme position, and they always will. You know why? Because men are simply better than women, and we figured this out on the
quite
playground
a
many years ago.
idea, I guess.
Men are simply better than women, and if you don't agree with me, talk to the judge, because you're fucking wrong. Yeah, so I think we just made a massive discovery here. Women have been saying for years that they don't need a man. Women don't need men. Well, I just solved it for you. Men don't need women. Men just need other men. Men in prison have figured this out for years and years and years. Listen. I need you to hear me out on this. Life goes on at the end of the day.
Yeah. Can't agree.
Whether it's with a femboy or whether it's with a woman, it will go on either way. And you need to say no to social norms. You need to say no to gender norms. You need to go out. You need to find that femboy. Find the right one for you. And it's a femboy because I just solved it right in front of your face.
Nah.
Take life by the balls. And take that femboy by the balls too. Because he'll love it, I'm sure. Now I need you to have an incredible rest of your night for me. Bye-bye.
Okay, that was Naythanyel. I'm captivated by his videos. They're quiet and they're just talking to camera about some interesting topics, but yeah. I don't think I can agree with him. But what I can pull your attention, I have an idea. I don't know if I can explain it well. So we're gonna go on the docks like he was just on so that we can try and explain this. Let's get like a table out. Do we get a table? I think we get a table. Now my main concern is with the actually I think it needs to be 4. Okay, so right here we have just plain old men, right? And I think we put the same there, right? Men. And then we'll do his favorite, right? And right here. And now I know this isn't really part of his argument, but I'm just gonna explain something that I figured out a while ago and that I'm evolving on. And I've explained to a couple people, but no one fully grasps the idea, right? Let's say men are negative, right? They have a value that is negative. So if you have, let's go like this. Yeah, oh no, let's see. Does that look right? No, let's just do that. This is like neutral. How do we say neutral? That's neutral. That little dot, that's neutral. And then women are awesome, women are great, plus. So when you have men and men, that's -2. When you have men and a woman, right? Let's give it the number values so that you can clearly see. Right. There, wait. We can even do a little bit of this just to stylize it a little bit, you know. Fuck, I'm retarded. Yeah. Man equals -1, femboy equals 0, woman equals +1. So you add them together, you get -2. That's the worst situation. You don't want that. Let's skip straight to woman. This cancels out 0. Perfect. How God intended it, how it was meant to be. This is what you want. It's over here too. Now, I have given femboys the neutral zero, because I believe that they are not fully on one side or the other, and because they are in between, they have to be zero, which means if you, a man, are with a femboy, it turns into -1, which is gay. Negatives are gay. Negatives are gay. Femboy, perfectly neutral. Not good, but it's not gay. You know, like it's not straight, but it's not gay. So there's something weird going on here. Femboy woman. So this is technically still good. I think it would be more than good. Right. Again, you know, we get +1. Then, for the lesbians, fucking double. Now this math really comes down. It comes down into the group stuff, okay? So if you want, actually, let's distinguish it a bit more. Let's just go there so that it's like fully distinguished, right? Oh wait, we forgot the. Okay, so this is kind of, I'm teaching you algebra right now. So when you're having the group stuff, the orgies or whatever, you want your number to be positive. So if you have one femboy, right? You need at least, and this includes you as well, right? This is -1 right now. You need at least one woman. Oh no. Malfunction. Whoops. You need at least one woman for it to be neutral. So technically, technically, this wouldn't be gay. It wouldn't be gay. It wouldn't be straight either, but it wouldn't be gay. But then, if you were to grab, now this is very selfish of someone to have, but if you were to grab 2 women in a femboy, right, that instantly puts you in the positives. You're +1, which is straight. But the problem comes in whether or not you know that this one is an outlier, you know, that this one isn't the same. Because you think you're walking away with a +2, but it's actually not. And now I just noticed a flaw in this logic. And I mean, my friend Naythanyel, I think he would love to abuse this logic, because you have 1. Not 1. Not 2. But infinite. Like, let's just say that's repeating. Let's simplify this. Let's go 9. Just because it's a massive number, single digit, you have 9. And as long as you +1, technically it's not gay. It's not straight, but it's not gay. But if you +2, it's straight. That's the flaw. Because in no way should 9 be considered a straight amount. And I apologize now for that tangent, but I definitely discovered something cool here with Naythanyel. I'll be keeping up And I think you guys should as well. You should watch his other videos. I watched this one. It's pretty funny. But I think that's all for today. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Was that a cool line?